Check out MMOGO if you're looking to buy cheap, reliable NBA Live mobile coins. Click the link in the description and use the code Bobby. What's up, ballers? It's Bobby Buckets back with another episode of NBA Live Mobile. So today we're going to be looking at the top 5 most unstoppable players in NBA Live Mobile. Now, there is one player that's not going to be on here. You guys can probably guess who he is, but you'll find out at the end. Didn't do a video or a little segment for him because I don't actually have gameplay with him, and I didn't want to take gameplay from somebody else. So there's one guy that's going to be missing. You guys can comment that down below who you think it's going to be, and we're going to go for 400 likes on this video, but we are going to go ahead and get started. At number 5, we've got Tracy McGrady, probably the most common 94 overall card in the game. There were so many of him in circulation because you could get 5 of him, and his set was out for like probably 4 weeks, so there were so many opportunities to get him from the winter program. He's got the clutch ability, also got a really solid 3-point rating, really good shooting rating. Just an all-around really solid card, a great shooting guard, very, very hard to stop, especially because of your clutch ability. So a lot of this is based off of how players play when they're controlled by the AI. But also at the same time, he is really good whenever you're using him in a game. You can see just clutch ability after clutch ability, which makes him very difficult to stop, especially whenever you're trying to go up against him. At number 4, we've got the 95 overall Yao Ming from the Chinese New Year program. One of the best centers in the game. You guys know typically I don't like to play with centers all that much because they're a lot harder to play with. Mainly because there aren't a lot of post moves in the game, and usually anytime you try to dribble with them, they get the ball stolen. But he actually has decent ball handling. He has insane dunks. He basically drops the ball into the basket because he's so tall, which makes him extremely difficult to stop. Also has a 99 block rating, and he's just an absolute monster. He can shoot mid-ranges really consistently. There's just not a whole lot this card can't do. He is very expensive. It costs about a $100 bundle in order to get him, unless you got really lucky and pulled him out of a pack, which is why he's so rare. But if you have him, he is definitely worth it. At number 3, we've got the 95 All-Star Challenge, or All-Star Skills Challenge, Kristaps Porzingis. Probably my favorite center in the game, so he's a lot like Yao Ming, except that he can shoot threes, which makes him essentially unstoppable. He is about the same, or maybe a little bit shorter, since I think he's 7'1", Yao Ming is 7'6", but very tough to stop from getting to the basket. He actually has better ball handling. Basically, once he gets to the basket, he does the same thing as Yao Ming, and the fact that he shoots threes makes him essentially unstoppable, which is why he's my favorite center in the game. Very, very difficult to stop whenever you're guarding him, and he gets so many rebounds. It's really tough to play against him. This was one of my favorite cards to play with in the game, and he's just an absolute monster, so I would definitely recommend getting him. He's super expensive since there weren't a whole lot of his cards out in the game because those all-star tokens were so rare and expensive. But if you can get him, he is totally worth it. Very difficult to stop, both whenever you're playing as the AI or if you're playing in-game. At number 2, we got Chinese New Year Jeremy Lin. I would almost say this is the most difficult card to stop in the entire game. It is definitely the most difficult card to stop if you're going against an AI controlling it, simply because he has 2 clutch abilities, which means there's no way that you can guard him. He's just an absolute monster, and it's a guaranteed 6 points every quarter. Also, if you have LeBron in that same lineup, that's another 3 points. And I believe if you get a Tracy McGrady, that's another 3 points. So you can have a guaranteed 12 points every quarter if you have those players together and manage to get all their clutch/buzzer beater shots up. It's probably the toughest matchups to guard in the game, especially if you've got all those players together. And he's also just a really solid card, really good 3-point rating, shooting, dribbling. You know I love playing with point guards, which is why this is one of my favorite cards to play with. He's just flat out unstoppable. He can shoot mid-ranges, he can get to the basket. There's not really anything that he can do, making him the second hardest to guard player in the game. And at number 1, we've got the GOAT, Brian Scalabrine. This was probably my favorite card to play with of all time. He has absurd range. I'm talking beyond Steph Curry range. He makes so many shots. The gameplay that you're seeing, I didn't miss a single shot until I think halfway through my second quarter of gameplay, which is ridiculous because I was taking ridiculously deep shots and nobody could do anything about it. I think between 2 quarters of gameplay, I only missed 3 shots with him, which is insane. Now, obviously, the AI is not going to be as good with him because the AI very rarely consistently makes 3-pointers. But if you're playing with him yourself in-game, and as you see right there, dropping a ridiculously deep 3, there's just not much you can do to stop him. So this is probably my favorite, most unstoppable card in the game. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, yes, I miss 99 Kevin Durant. That's because I do not have that card. I lost my progress on the card when my account was banned a while ago. So I wasn't able to put that in here. It probably would have been my number 1. I believe he has 2 clutch abilities as well, which would have put him ahead of Jeremy Lin since he has a better 3-point and overall rating. So that is my metaphorical number 1 most unstoppable player in the game, but I didn't have him and I didn't want to take gameplay from somebody else, so he is not in this video, but technically he would be at the 1 spot. But this Brian Scalabrine card is not much farther behind and actually at the exact same position. So that's going to be about it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If there are any other top 5 or top 10 lists that you guys want to see, make sure you comment those down below, and I will see you guys next time.